Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai haramai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te Korimako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, she is a proud wahine from Taranaki who made her mark on the world stage at just 15 years old, winning a silver medal at the Junior Youth Women's World Boxing Championship and becoming ranked number 2 in the world. Since then, she's gone on to travel, teach, work with rangatahi, coach boxing, and now continues to give back through education, the taiao and the next generation. We're lucky to have her on the show with us. Nau mai, haramai, Thea Awhitu. Good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Tēnā koe hoa, mihi nui kia koe mō te kōrero I tēnei pō, mihi nui kia ki te ao Hākinakina.
Awesome. Hey, good to have you on the show. Been looking forward to this one. I hear about your amazing journey. But hey, before we get started, ko wai koe, no he koe, just a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Kia ora. He urio noa te takutai o Taranaki. So I'm from the coastal side, Taranaki Tūturu, Ngā Sonui. Yeah, that's me. Definitely grew up here up until my boxing kicked off, basically. Out the coast is where it all began, out in Okatoa with, mum, dad, my siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. Mum passed away when I was little, when I was about 6, so we moved into town after that. Dad had his own struggles, so with my auntie and siblings for the most part growing up, which, blessing, one of those things. A lot of thanks to them. And it just kind of led into a lot of sports for me. We had quite a few people in our household when I was in primary, intermediate, early years of high school, and my little escape was sports, asking other parents to take me and stuff, netball, inline hockey, and walking myself to games and things, just because I loved the atmosphere. I reckon it was, it was the calm part, even though there's lots of pressure and competition and all that kind of jazz, it still very much gave me purpose and then also belonging. So I owe a lot to sports on this whole journey that I've had, I'd say.
Oh, awesome. What a journey. What a journey. Now, obviously you found that love for boxing. At what age did you kind of get into boxing and how? How did you get into it?
So I was playing inline hockey. I was in the regional team at the time. We'd had our nationals and there was a lull period over summer break. And at that time, Sam Rapira and Jake Rapira, they had started kicking off their box office boxing out at Bell Block. They're whānau to me. Sam was married to Jess Rangitonga, and that's my my cousin, basically my sister. It was her mum, that auntie that took us on when I was a kid. So being around them just constantly, and they were like, oh, come out to the boxing gym to stay fit because, you're going to want to stay fit for your sports, which was a perfect idea. They kept asking me like, oh, you should get in and do some sparring. And I was like, hell no, I can't do that. Are you joking? When I finally got the courage, though, to actually get inside of the ring, I just found it fun. I was just like, this is so fun. And then it snowballs into now training is really fun and you get more skills and you concentrate a little bit more, and then you have your first competition bout, and the feeling that you get inside is, it's one of a kind, I'd say. It's really, really good feeling, and grew from there.
Wow. Well, it did grow from there because you went on very quickly as a young kōtero to do very well. So take us back to that moment at just 15 years old, winning silver at the Junior Youth Women's World Boxing Championships and being ranked number 2. That's pretty big. It's pretty big. Take us back to that moment.
As wahine around Aotearoa, when you're boxing, there's not that much competition for us. At the time, there were 3 of us that would fight each other consistently. That was awesome, but I was winning a lot of these bouts over and over again. And coach Jake Rapira, he very much saw that there was something that I could keep competing elsewhere. So it was actually him who went to New Zealand boxing and was like, I've got this talented young girl. I want to take her around the world. There's a world competition for her age group. I want to chuck her in. Can we, whoever else you think we should take with us, let's take them there. I remember he came to me in my training session and he said, like, you're going to be going to the World Championship and to compete. And I got home and I was telling my brother and he was like, you're definitely going. And I was so scared. I was like, what do you mean? But as soon as they give me a choice, I was like, okay, this is it. Training extra hard, multitude of extra trainings, personal trainer at Rampage at the time. Thank you for that. That was awesome. And then just zoned in completely and had to do it, basically, is what it feels like when I think back there. It was a completely different experience, but a really, really powerful one.
Well, like to go over to the Worlds, it must have been, obviously not only physically tough, but mentally tough. Like, what did it take you, being so young, to have to prepare physically and mentally for something like that?
I think I had a really, really awesome support system, and there were so many people who just they fueled what I now call my delusional optimism. Like, I've held that throughout, and it's just like, oh yeah, like, it's possible. Anything's possible. So this is possible. I'll just go off and do this. So even down to people who were sponsoring me at the time, super grateful for that, because otherwise it would never have happened. Like I said, my big brother, he ended up coming too, and it's not a cheap thing from a life that we came from. So like Joseph Awhitu, thank you so much, bro. But for him to, they would just not let me question my capability, basically. So from that support is really where my own mental game came. And I would be in the car with coach on the way home, and I'd be saying to him, like, I don't know, like, what if they're training harder, or what if they can punch harder? And he's like, what if they can't? What if you can do better? What if you're training more? Well, then train more. Well, then punch harder. Like, they were really realistic to me. Like, they were just like super blunt, very like, this is the will. Like, this is a big deal. But really supportive at the same time. They just believed that it could be possible. So that was
a good mentor and coach there in Jake Rapira and the Rapira brothers, most definitely. Well, whānau, we're having an awesome kōrero here to Thea about her amazing journey at such a young age, heading over to the Worlds. But we're going to talk more to her journey after the break, so make sure to stay tuned. Kia ora koutou wānau, welcome back to Te Ao Hākinakina. We're having an awesome kōrero here with Thea Awhitu about her boxing journey. Now, after boxing, your journey took you into the moana and around the world. So I understand you got into scuba diving, was a scuba diving instructor. What inspired that next step?
Well, I was sent, because I went on this boxing journey and around the, it was competitions around the world. It started to ignite this understanding inside of me that the world is much greater than than just one place. I was in Dunedin at university, and I was watching like all these movies about scuba diving. It was like, the big new thing. And I just was interested enough to try it. So down there, they had a course, and you could start from absolutely no experience and go to an instructor in 1 year at Dive Otago. And it just so happened to be in Dunedin where I already was. It started a week before uni. So I figured if I'll try out this week, if I don't like it, I'll go back to the uni buzz. If I do, then I'll stick it out. And I was sitting in the moana on our third day, and there was this seal that was like darting around us. Every time we'd go under, it would like do circles and be playful. And I just was like in awe at how calm you can be and the things you see. Like, it was, it's crazy, like alien-like is what it kind of felt like. Yeah, that was the start.
Wow, that's so cool. No wonder you found a real love and passion for it. Now, I understand you've You know, you've obviously gone from elite sport to teaching and working in the ngahere as well, and now training to become a scientific diver with Doc, is that right? Or doing some mahi in there? Well, it's obviously an amazing part. How have all those kind of experiences connected for you, you know?
Yeah, I was lucky, fortunate enough, worked hard enough to head overseas and work as a dive instructor and work with a range of ages as you do it as well. You're teaching kids from 8 years old all the way up to people who are like 65. As long as you're passing these medicals, you can keep diving. So the age group, the cultures, everything helped when I came home for COVID. And that's where Te Kahui Maru first linked me up with working with rangatahi in the ngahere. So the kaupapa tupuanuku, it was based around the environment workforce and needing to have people out in our taiao that understand it and can work in it and take care of it. And it was just this new kaupapa that they were trying to build. And I went in for my little interview, and now that I think back on it, I'm like, whoa, can't believe they hired that little girl. But it was the experience with all the ages and culture, and just being, kind of hearty enough to be up climbing with everyone while I'm trying to convince them to work there as well. So I think it was a bundle of that, and that just kind of helped then shape like, okay, I have this information and I know how to deliver it to people, and I've worked with different cultures and age groups. So yeah, there's just the flexibility of all of that coming together is really what's led me to being here, I would say.
Wow, how cool is that? Well, tell us a little bit more about, because you're doing mahi with rangatahi at the moment as well, and the ngahere through Te Kahui Maru and with Te Heru Māpara. Tell us a little bit about that as well, and how much you enjoy that.
Yeah, this one is a bigger step than what I had done previously. It was mainly about the connection to the people and then showing them, I would say like showing off the tile space. But now it's a little bit more of like, you can find education in so many different places. And a lot of people, it takes a long time for you to learn how you actually like to learn. So for me, being with Te Heru Māpara, it's about showing people how they like to learn and what different areas they can go to in order to understand information. So getting an opportunity to actually tap into that, and then having a bit of a flow, like, well, we'll give you time to do it this way and then this way and then this way, and we'll see which one you are going to connect to, because you never know if more than one is going to work even. That's been an awesome part of being with Te Heru Māpara at the moment.
Beautiful, and you're a perfect candidate for mahi in that space with our rangatahi Te Heru Māpara, doing some really, really, really cool stuff there. Big shout out to them, Haki and the team, and doing some really, really good stuff. Now, back to boxing. You're also coaching at Box Office now. How important is it for you to kind of give back to the next generation of boxers coming through?
Yeah, I actually always thought that I would do pretty well in the coaching area. I remember coming back from Worlds as a 15-year-old, and there was this lady, a newspaper lady, reporter. She was doing an interview with me, and she's like, "Are you excited to start training for the Olympics?" And that was 4 years from then, and I was just like, "Whoa!" And I remember saying to her, like, "I don't know if I would do that, but I would like to coach one day." And now, and I have always, had it in the back of my head, that's what you're capable of. You've got to let other people have this information so that they can accomplish things, no matter where they're from or where they've started. So to actually come home and just be in a space, my own wairoa, to settle enough, to give enough, because it is, shout out to every coach out there. Honestly, every single coach, no matter what you're coaching, you are incredible humans, because it is a big thing to give yourself so much for athletes. I understood that as a boxer myself, and I always knew, even though it was something I wanted to accomplish, there was a place that I needed to be able to sit in order to do that. And I think I've finally settled there, which is quite nice. Yeah.
Now, probably going back actually in terms of, your sporting career, and as you've come through, what foundations has boxing given you in life that you kind of, now in your life you're going, far out, this has played a big impact in my life and the way in which I I roll today, the things I'm involved with. What kind of foundations has it really laid for you?
There's so many, but dedication, diligence, determination, confidence and competence, like real, I don't quite know the word to use, but maybe attention to detail. Like, you have to be so fine-tuned with the attention to detail in order to be successful in that sport. And it's happening at such a quick rate, you've got to tune in. I feel like that was something that was huge. And then just ultimately like respect for others and what you can do. Like the capability that I feel like I have as a person now is huge in comparison to when I was young.
Yeah, love it. Great sport. Boxing helped so many young rangatahi over many years. Now, speaking of young rangatahi, what do you enjoy most about helping our young athletes, not only just athletes, but young rangatahi in general to help grow in their confidence and discipline?
I really love to pick out the little tiny seed of what they could potentially maybe, they've got this secret little desire that they're not really sure is ever going to come through or exist in reality. I love finding that. And that takes a while. Like that takes a little bit of like sneaky, sneaky words every now and again trying to get it out. But once you get that little seed, to then like entice it, water it, I guess you would say, and watch it start to sprout. And then you see them starting to see fruits and flowers all of a sudden, and they start to believe that they can do this. That is the part that I like the most. Like for them to understand that they already have so much inside. That's the bit that I like about working with rangatahi. I think it's inspirational for me because I see them being able to do these things, being able to believe, being able to accomplish. And it brings me back to my own self. Like, yes, those are the things we've got to remember in the world. Like, no matter where you are or who you are, what age, whatever, what circumstances, like, that's what you have to remember.
Love that. I love that. You're so on point there. Eh? They teach us a lot. Rangatahi teach us a lot and good reminders about how to walk in the world. So now that's awesome. Now, and finally, like, what's next for you? What's next? Both obviously you're coaching and helping in the rangatahi space and training with the scientific diver as a scientific diver with Doc. Like, what's next for you? What aspirations do you have moving forward?
I'm sitting very much in a place of like pinch myself every morning that I have such a full life. Those three things to be working in my favor, like to have like noise around the moana at home just to start with, but then to be involved, that's incredible. In boxing, to circle all the way back and give back to it and be still connected to rangatahi and working with them. Like all three of those things have been desires of mine while I'm at home for so long. And I think the next thing for me is just letting myself settle in that place. I spent the last decade, literally 10 years, just always wanting to be on the go in a new city, in a new town, in a new country. And it's awesome. Love that lifestyle. We'll live it again. Don't worry. But it's just the intensity of that is up there, it's real up there. So the next step for me is to let myself just settle back into like, you're secure, you're safe, and your life is full. Like that's where it's at for me. And all these other things are just growing. Like I'm at the little sprout stage of all of those components. So let them flourish a little.
Love that, man. So Thea, thanks so much, for sharing your journey with us. It's really inspiring seeing the amazing things that you've done. You've followed your heart, you've followed your passions, you're continuing to do that. And as you just mentioned, that you want to sit in that space and bask in that beauty that you're in terms of what you're enjoying. So hey, it's a powerful story that looking forward to sharing with all of our whānau at home. And we wish you well on that continued journey, and we're cheering you on from here under our maunga here in Taranaki.
Yes, thank you so much.